Humans by nature are very adaptable, and I think we're seeing that all over the place right now in the ways of the world. So, you know, if you think about all the times in your life when you've made leaps, in courage or faith, you kind of like, here's your comfort zone, and then you step outside of your comfort zone, and it's scary and difficult, and kind of uncertain. But this is really truly where we grow and where the magic happens. It's where we get to adapt and grow. So think about ways. I mean, obviously, right now in the world, there's so much of this going on. The ways that we're adapting to a new way of being. But close your eyes for a moment and think about something that you've faced down courageously in your life. Whether it's recovering from something difficult or facing a challenge at work or anything. It can be anything at all. Something that you really had to step outside of your comfort zone to create a new perspective and choose a new path. And probably whatever you're thinking of, I hope you don't regret the decision you made to step out of your comfort zone. So can you ever think of a time in your life where stepping out of your comfort zone didn't make you grow? That even if it was challenging and even if it ended poorly, there's something to be learned and stretched and grow from that. So try to examine that a little bit. Can you ever think of a time when you stepped into courage and it wasn't worth it? So what do we do to help ourselves be able to stay in that space of being able to do the things that scare us? And one of them is deeply rooted in our practice, that we need to feel grounded. We need to have ground beneath us in order to be able to fly into something new. So our practice really helps us cultivate being in that balanced state of finding the stability and the grounding forces that make you feel comfortable, and also stretching outside of your comfort zone. So think about that as we move through our practice today. Okay, let me mess with my volume. Is anybody else having trouble hearing me? Text me if you're having trouble with the sound. So I hope it's okay. But just go to the chat bar in the bottom of your screen if there's problems. I have my volume all the way up, so hopefully it'll be okay. Sorry now. Okay, so let's sit up straight and tall. Ground into the body. Drop in. Find your breath. Breathing deeply. Breathing fully. Long, steady inhales. Long, steady exhales. Our breath is also this gateway into grounding us, giving us that capacity to muster courage and adaptability. So come into the steadiness of your breath, and maybe right in this moment you don't need steadying. Maybe you're already feeling pretty steady. But the next time you come across something that scares you, something that's difficult, unfamiliar, uncertain, bring yourself into the energy that you feel now of a steady, full breath. Maybe breathing out through pursed lips if you need a sense of control, of letting the exhale slow down. Feeling the groundedness where you touch the earth. So feel your legs, feel your pelvis. Allow the earth to give you a gift of support. So no matter what kind of flailing about you're doing in a uncertain moment, there's always the earth below you to touch into. There's always the breath to access, no matter what you're doing, unless you're literally in the air. Feel the diaphragm release and steady. Feel a sense of ease come into the belly, receiving. The shoulders are broad, the collarbones wide. Take the stance of courage in your body. What does it feel like? And can you do this in a humble way where you're not pushing your chest out and kind of faking it till you make it kind of thing? Let it be organic and full inside your torso. And then as you're ready, place your palms together at your heart and offer in an intention. What do you need some courage for? What do you need some adaptability for? Some presence to just maintain stability amidst uncertainty. And then release the hands. And let's come onto our back. All right. So as you're ready, stretch out and feel the earth for a moment. So just let your limbs be long on the ground. You can spread them wide or have them close, whatever feels comfortable. And just give yourself over. Feel that you're being held. Imagine the earth is, a support underneath you. It is a support underneath you, so feel it. And know that this is always available to you no matter what. Sometimes just lying on the earth can do wonders to ground you and dissipate some of the the heightened energy that can come from fear or uncertainty. And then let's stretch your arms overhead and take a deep breath. And lengthen. Right side, lengthen left side. Just enjoy the spaciousness in your sides. What does it feel like to breathe here? How does the little back bend that's happening feel in the body? What does your spine feel like right now? How's your breath? And then bring your knees into your chest and give yourself a hug. Rock around a little bit, swaying from side to side. I'm feeling that nurturing steadiness across the back of the pelvis. Feel that little massage that the ground is giving you. And then pull your knees apart from each other and back in. Just waking up the hip joints a little bit, noticing what your range of motion is this morning. And then right knee into the chest, left leg long on the floor. Roll your ankles, wake up your bare feet. Find your breath. Feel a good squeeze of your femur bone. Then we're going to cross this leg over just a little bit. So take the knee and just cross it past midline a little bit. Just start to wake up the outer hip just a smidge. And then release and open up your knee out to the side. I'm just getting a little bit different range of motion in the hip joint. And then go ahead and switch sides. So left knee into the chest, right leg is long on the floor. Feel your feet open, roll your ankles around. Enjoy the lower legs, waking up. Extend the spine, and let's do the same. Repeat. So take your right arm on your left knee, cross it over a little bit. Have a little resistance of your left hip moving away from your shoulder and down. Just start to open up the outer hip a teeny bit. And then change directions and open the left knee out to the left a little bit more and notice where your range of motion is there. Okay. Both knees into the chest. Pick up your head, squeeze everything you have access to. And then release and open wide, spreading your arms and legs on the floor, extending, squeeze here. Squeeze all the muscles you can find. And then as you're ready, knees in, no more squeezing, just tuck in. Inhale, get big and wide on the floor. Open your chest, expand. And exhale one more time, knees into the chest. Let's roll over onto our side and come up onto our hands and our knees. Okay, so finding your breath. Find what movement feels good. So let's start just with some simple cat-cows. So arching the back, lifting the tail, rounding the spine, dropping the tail, dropping the head. Just finding the range of motion that you have today in your spine. Breathing deeply. And then find your way into any kind of movement that feels nice in your body. So it could be some swirls through your pelvis or your shoulders. It could be moving your head around. Maybe you want to sway from side to side and drop your hips over. Just wake up, whatever the spine is asking for in this moment. And then curl your toes under. Stretch back towards child's pose and open the bottom of the feet. Get them big and broad and wide. Feel that sense of space. Maybe it hurts a little bit. Maybe your big toes don't like this. Just see where you go. And then come back up onto all fours and smack your feet on the ground. Have their time. Now you get to fully find your way into dog pose. So stretch through your spine. Feel free to move your feet. So try to sense that you're opening up your calves a lot here. So drop one heel down, bend the opposite knee, just feel some openness in the calves. Maybe you want to move a little fast and pedal. Maybe you want to move a little slower. Maybe your hips want to get involved and you can drop one knee not only toward the mat but in a little bit so your other hip lifts high and wide. Just find the lower legs. And then once you're steady, spread open the bones of your feet a lot. Feel the arches lift up toward the pelvis. Lengthen through the spine. Take the roots of your thigh bones back. Widen the sit bones. Feel just a little bit of an inner spiral of your upper thighs. So inner thighs rolling back just a little bit. Isometrically drag your feet apart on the mat. So you're waking up some muscles in the outer hips, the outer shins. Lift the pinky toe side of your foot all the way up to the outer hips. All right, and then let's walk forward and come into Uttanasana. Fold in half here. Relax. Feel free to wobble around, wiggle, any kind of movement that feels good. Halfway lift. The spine gets longer. The legs get straighter. Exhale and melt back down. The knees soften, release, relax. Grab onto the base of your skull with the heel of your hands and just gently tuck it in a little bit, feeling the back body stretch open. Inhale for a halfway lift. The spine gets longer again. Exhale and melt back down. Push off your feet. Rise up, bringing your arms to the sky. Extend, open, lean back a little bit if it feels nice to do so. Cactus the arms or straighten your arms, however you want to be. Open the chest. Feel the breath and width across you. And then open the back of the chest. Bring your forearms to touch. Spread your shoulder blades apart. Inhale, lift your arms all the way up to the sky again. Exhale and swan dive forward. Fold in half, bend the knees. Inhale for a halfway lift. Exhale and melt. Come back down onto all fours. Bring your hands and your knees onto the ground. Inhale, lift your left arm up in the air. Take a breath. Exhale and slide that left arm through, finding a twist. Enjoy the space in the back of the shoulders. Find your breathing. Rest your head. Gaze downward. Soften your eyes. And then inhale and reach that arm all the way back up. Place your hand down onto the ground. Second side, lifting. Exhale, sliding that right arm under. A little bit of pressure of your left hand on the floor is not a bad thing. Just make sure that you're breathing your way into the twist instead of pushing your way into the twist. Okay, and then inhale, reach that arm all the way back up. Place the hand down. Regular child's pose now. Feet are flat instead of curled under. Lengthen through the sides of your body. Walk the hands over to the right side of the mat. Open the left rim. Breathe into the space between your ribs and your pelvis. Find that little window. And then come back to center and walk your hands over the other way. Relax the base of your skull. Soften. Deep breaths in, deep breaths out. And relax and come back up. Dog pose. Lengthen through your spine. Feel your feet again. Spread out the bones of your feet. Feel your grounding. Have a moment of yielding here. So give your hands and your feet deep into the earth. You can even bend your knees and elbows. And then rebound and feel that length through the body. Relax your eyes. Soften the gaze. Soften the skin on your face. Melt the jaw. Fill up your breath and empty your breath out.
You find that steadiness of groundedness. If you're really close to the ground, even your head's close to the ground. So feel the grounding, the yielding, feel the breath, the stability, and the sense of, that you have ground underneath you, that no matter what happens, you have some stability. Feel that in this pose. Inhale, lift your right leg up in the air, square hips, extend through the spine. Exhale, knee to nose. Hug it in, lots of core here. Inhale, bring it back. We're gonna do this again. Bring your knee forward and we're gonna windshield wiper your knee left and right. So don't worry, and you can always put your other knee on the floor to do this on all threes instead of in dog pose. So whatever works for you, or not the dog pose, but a plank. All right, and then inhale, reach that leg back up. Extend through the spine. We're going to bring that foot forward, come into a lunge. Hands can be on blocks. If you want them to be on blocks, let's start moving our body. Okay, so squaring the hips, relaxing the head as your leg comes straightish, bending your knee, the chest comes forward, and just finding your movement pattern. Open up the hamstrings, open up the hip flexors as you move. Try to find that your hips are really free in this kind of posture, that you're creating the freedom. And then stay in lunge. Extend the heart forward. Find your breath here. And then as you're ready, crescent lunge. Reaching the arms out, up, down. Where do you want them to be? Find your pose for today. Extend, open the heart. See if you can feel that sense of deep ground, yield, at the same time as this upward lifting energy that gives us courage, stamina, adaptability. And then when we're ready, we're going to use our obliques to twist, so you can keep your hands on your hips or out to the side. Try to use your breath. Exhale your way into the ribs. Deep inhale, full exhale. And then bring your arms back up. Place your hands down onto the ground. Back foot comes forward. Inhale for a halfway lift. Exhale and melt back down. Knees are soft. Bend your knees, rise up, lifting the arms to the sky. We're going to do some balance here. So exhale, come down to chair pose with your arms back. We're going to come up onto our tippy toes. So inhale, come up, hang out here for a moment. Just start to get some work in the calves, some balance. And don't worry if your feet are kind of like wobble. That's okay. Just let them be where they're going to be. Heels down, arms back. Inhale, come up onto your tippy toes. Deep breath. Exhale, heels down, arms back. Find chair pose. Heels are down, stay down. Put your arms where you want them to be. Okay, so arms can be in so many different places. There's no rules. Find your breath. Root into the earth. Drop your heels. Lift your toes a little bit and then root them back down as well, so that most of our weight is going back. Knees back toward the pelvis. Breathe. And then inhale, stand up, feet on the ground, no tippy toes this time. Exhale and separate your feet. Come forward into Uttanasana. Inhale for a halfway lift. Exhale and melt back down. Step your right foot back. Your left foot comes forward this time in a lunge. Finding your breath. Start to move your body. Squaring the hips. Relaxing your head down. Bending the knee. Enjoying the openness through the hip flexors. Always modify anything that you need to in these postures. There's no rights or wrongs. There's no rules. You're in charge of determining where steadiness lives, where your boundaries are, how you want to stretch out of your, not out of your boundaries, but to your boundaries. Come up to crescent lunge. Put your arms where you want them to be. So part of learning to step out of our comfort zone is learning where those boundaries are in our physical body. So if we can practice touching our edges in our physical body, then maybe we will have a little bit more stamina in the mind to touch those edges in the much scarier places that live in the mind than in the body. Feel the reach, lengthen upward. Find your breath. we're gonna twist to the side. You can have your arms out, you can have your arms in. Notice we haven't done all the core work yet, so notice if your core is different on this side without having those planks to warm us up for something like this twist. Come back up, reaching the arms to the sky, and then place your hands down. Three-legged dog, lifting this left leg up in the air, square hips. Exhale, knee to nose. Inhale, bring it back. And then this next time, we're gonna do some windshield wipering. So bring that knee in. You can always put your back knee on the floor, and we're going to just go back and forth. See if you can keep the pelvis fairly stable. Do this work in the obliques in the body. Are you able to breathe? And then inhale, lift that leg all the way high. Place your foot down onto the ground. Come forward into a full plank. Feet are down now instead of up. Spread your heart, stretch out your collarbones. Deep breath in and away. Put your knees down onto the ground or not. Come down however is safe for your body. Take a deep breath. Cobra pose, open your chest. Exhale and melt back down. Find your breath again. Inhale, rise up. Exhale, coming back down. Come up onto all fours. Swivel around, move your hips. Maybe you prefer going right to child's pose. For some people, going right back into a deep forward bend after a back bend is too quick of a transition, so take some time. And then eventually find your way back to dog pose. Deep breath in, deep breath away. Walk your feet forward. Come into Uttanasana. Inhale for a halfway lift. Exhale and melt back down. Either put a block between your thighs if you like that for chair pose, or put your toes together. So whichever you prefer. Come into chair pose. Let's put our hands on our thighs just for a moment. Ground yourself. Ground your femur bones. Sink them down. Sink your feet into the earth. Feel that sense of low center of gravity. And then as you're ready, if you're able to bring your hands off your thighs, you can either bring them up or out or palms together. We're going to twist. Take a deep breath in. Exhale, twisting to the right. Inhale, bringing them back. Exhale, twisting to the left. Inhale, come on back. One more time, each side. Ground your feet, heels are down. Gently hug the block if you're using a block. One more time, second side. And then come on up. Stretch open your chest. Maybe some cactus arms, maybe not. Exhale and fold forward. Take the block out of there. Everybody come down onto the ground. We're going to obviously get back up, but just come onto your back for a moment. Breathe deeply. Just going to wake up the core a little bit more. Okay, so we're going to cross our right thigh over our left thigh. Finding your breath. Interlace your fingers behind your back or behind your head. Take a deep breath in. Exhale and draw in. Inhale, open up. Try to not pull your head. I just did pull my head. So try not to pull your head too much. Finding the breath. Squeeze your legs a little bit toward each other. Find that hug. Inhaling to open up, exhaling to compress. And then release your head down. Lift two legs up in the air. Open your legs wide out to the side like a V. Take your hands out from under your head. Take a breath and stretch your arms through. Do this a few times. I never count, so I always hope that I find some balance left and right. So you can always hold your head too if you feel like it's too much to have your hands moving through. One more. And then bring your knees back together. Cross left thigh over right thigh. Hands are behind your head. Take a deep breath in. As you're ready, exhale and hug in. Finding your breath. Exhale. Hug right in. So you're lifting your pelvis and your torso. Breathing the whole way. One last time. We're going to starfish our body open. Spread out your arms and your legs. Exhale, knees to chest, head up. Okay, bring your arms straight out to the sides. The knees are bent. And we're going to just slowly drop our knees over and then back up and over. So you might get all the way to your elbows with your knees. You might get 2 inches away from your midline and realize your back's had enough and need to come back up. So detach yourself from where you're supposed to be going and sense instead where your core stability is taking you. So as you drop over, stabilize through your obliques. So you want to make sure your back is not what's lifting you and moving your knees. You want to make sure you have that full 360 cylinder of support. This is a lot of work for the obliques, so let them do their job. Make sure you're breathing. Now, if you really feel strong in this, you can lift your legs straight and take your feet to your hands instead of knees to elbows. That's a lot more challenging for the spine, so I always recommend the knee bend first and see how you are. All right, and then after you finish, whatever side you didn't start on, bring the knees to the chest and rock a little bit. Take a deep breath in, starfish your body, open things up, spread things out. Exhale, knees to chest. Roll over onto your side and come up into dog pose. Lengthen through your spine. Big breaths here. Feel the extension. Come forward into a plank. Hold yourself steady. Wake up your core. It's wide awake, hopefully. So feel the steadiness within there. And then put your knees down onto the ground and come to the floor. Enjoy opening the belly. Stretch and lengthen. Exhale and come back down. Back up onto all fours. Move around any which way you want and find your way to dog pose. Inhale, lift the left leg up in the air. Exhale, bring your foot forward. Plant your back heel all the way down. Virabhadrasana 1, Warrior 1. Your torso can be forward a little bit. What is it? How can you feel grounded in both your legs, stable through your glutes, but also open and free through your torso? Can you drop your shoulders? Feel that sense of grounding and spaciousness. The sense of effort and surrender, the stability and the ease. All these, pendulum swings. See if you can find harmony. Deep breaths in. Exhale. Bring your hands down. Blocks are nice. Come to half splits. Lift up onto that right foot. Stretch your left leg behind you. Extending the spine. Finding your breath. Now we're going to use those same obliques. Think of the pose you just did on the ground. Put your knee behind your knee and do a one-legged squat. Feel your core. Maybe bring your hands to each other. Maybe your hands stay on the block. Find your breath. Find the stability. Spread out the bones of both feet. And then put your hands back on the earth or blocks. Stretch that leg straight in the air. Exhale, place your foot down next to the other one, hip width apart. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale and melt back down. Push off your feet, rise up, open the heart, lean back if it feels good. Exhale, release your hands behind your back. Open across your collarbones, Bend forward again. Unlock the elbows a little bit if they tend to hyperextend. Just a smidge. Doesn't have to be a lot. And then release the arms. Step your left foot back. Right, wait, is that the foot we just did? Do your opposite leg. So yeah, your left foot forward, sorry. Right foot back. Extend, come into a lunge, find your breath. Place your back heel down onto the ground, and we're gonna come up to Virabhadrasana 1. So the back heel, this is different than crescent lunge when your heel is up. When our heel is down, it's harder to turn the hip, and that's okay. It doesn't have to be a square hip pose. Work the legs though, engage the glutes on both sides. So the front leg, push your foot into the floor. The back leg, ground that foot as well. Find the sense of spaciousness, openness. Try not to sink into the low back, but engage your core to lift up through your spine. Drop your shoulders away from the ears. Maybe it's okay to look up. Maybe that messes with your balance. Find the side ribs deeply expanding on your breath. Deep inhale, deep exhale. And then we're gonna reach the hands down onto the blocks. Come up into half splits. Lengthen through your spine. Maybe you have your hands on the floor. Doesn't matter. Just find whatever height you can find and stretch that leg back behind you. Square hips. Lift the left hip up. Hug it in. Feel the feet spread out. How's your glutes and the hamstring in the air? Exhale, tuck that knee behind. Remember that core work we did on the floor. Find that sense of stability. Maybe your hands stay on the blocks. Maybe your hands come off the blocks. Find your breath. Spread out your collarbones. Shoulder blades come down the back. The feet are broad and spreading. Deep, full inhale. Steady yourself on your breath. And then place your hands back down. Extend again. Find your breathing. Exhale, bring your foot down, Uttanasana. Inhale for a halfway lift. Exhale and melt back down. Push off your feet, come up to stand. Take a breath, open heart. And then exhale, bring your hands down to your sides for a moment and feel the yielding. Give yourself over to the earth. Feel the breath. Find these two things, the relationship, the yielding with the earth, the steady breath. So no matter what challenge you put yourself in your yoga practice, it's practice for the real stuff. Okay. Send weight into your right leg. Deepen your ability to ground in that foot. We're going to bring our left knee up. First, just stand, find your balance. Chairs, furniture, all good if you need it. We're going to cross your thigh over your thigh. We're going to add the arms in just a moment, but just squeeze your legs. And then unwind and lift that knee up. Place your foot back down onto the ground. Yield again, 2 feet, soft, bendy knees. Diaphragm dropping to your feet. Bottomless breath. Put weight into your left foot. Try not to hike your hip out, stay stable. Lift your knee and just find what you find. Deep breaths in, deep breaths away. Okay, we're going to cross that leg over thigh. Squeeze your legs toward the midline. Feel that sense of compression and expansion. So the breath expands, the breath compresses. Full breaths here. And then unwind, lift that knee and place your foot down. Inhale, reaching the arms to the sky. Let's practice the arms. Put your right arm on top, left arm below. Shoulders drop down, elbows lift up. Find the spreading across your shoulder blades there. Enjoy the stretch. And then inhale, reach the arms up, cross the other way. Shoulders down, collarbones spread, elbows lift a little bit. Pull the elbows away from you a little bit. Find your breath. And then unwind the arms. Bring the arms high, cactus them open, spread open your chest. And then release. You can wiggle, you can jump, whatever you're gonna do. We're gonna find our way into full eagle pose. Stand weighted, deeply grounding, yielding into your right leg. Decide, do you like to cross your arms first or your legs first? So they're in opposition. So we're gonna take our left thigh over our right thigh and our right arm over our left arm. So whatever you wanna do, whether you like to cross arms first or legs first, find your way. Try not to turn your pelvis. Keep yourself guiding forward. If you need to have balance, try doing this with your butt against a wall or a piece of furniture and let the balance come from right behind you instead of having to hold on to something. Find your breath. Whatever you're doing, find your breath. Squeeze. This is so good for your lymphatics. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze your groins, your armpits, your elbows. Let your peripheral vision take over. And then we're going to unwind. Bring that foot down onto the ground. Lift your arms. Change the cross. So we're dropping weight into our left foot. We're going to lift the knee up, cross it over the opposite arm. So because our right leg is on top, our left arm comes on top. Squat in your one-legged chair. Spread out your feet. Don't worry if your foot doesn't hook around your calf. You can just have your foot out to the side. Flex your feet. Feel that engagement. Draw back like chair pose. Draw the knees back. Find your breath. Squeeze. Okay. Find the spreading of your collarbones, the spreading of your ribs, the hugging in. Can you ground through your foot on the floor? Can you reach through your crown? And then unwind, stretch your arms, stretch your legs, exhale, and fold forward. Let the back relax. Inhale for a halfway lift. Exhale and melt. Okay. Let's come back to dog pose. Spread out your hands, spread out your feet, find the length of your body, find the symmetry in your body. Inner spiral your thighs, extend through your shoulders. Lift the right leg up in the air. Take a breath. Exhale. Bring your foot forward. Come into a lunge. Plant your back heel down onto the ground. Come up into Vera one again. Find your breath. Okay. We're going to take the right arm over the left arm. Drop the shoulders. Lift your chest. When you're here, come forward. Hop up into Virabhadrasana 3. Remember, Vira 3 does not have to be perpendicular to the floor. It can be up here. Okay, so find your way, still binding the arms, square hips, extend the spine. Feel your yielding feet, feel your breath. And then as you're ready, we're going to stand up, bring that knee up, cross your leg over, eagle pose. I know it's a lot for one leg. So just feel what you're feeling, deepen your breath. And then unwind this, spread out your arms and legs. And then exhale and fold in half. Inhale for a halfway lift. Exhale and step back. Either just take your right foot back, or you can come back to dog pose and lift that leg in the air. So however you want to transition to the second side, let's all find our way with our left foot forward. Our right heel is planting down in Virabhadrasana 1. Find your breath, reach the arms, maybe they go out, maybe their hands are on your hips. Find the extension in your spine no matter what you're doing with your arms. We're going to cross our left arm over our right arm. Lift the sternum, find your pose, feel your feet. Extend through your heart, lift up. And then we're going to come forward, keep your arms bound, hop up onto your left foot, stretch that leg in the air. Engage your glutes on both sides, strong core, extend the spine. And then as we're ready, we're going to come up to stand, bring that knee up in the air. We're going to cross over your thigh and come into eagle pose again. Let your peripheral vision take over. Spread out your feet, hug into the midline, broaden your rib cage, your chest, your heart. And then unwind, stretch your arms and legs wide on the floor. Take your legs wide. They can come off your mat or you can turn sideways on your mat and come down to a wide-legged pose. Relax your head. Extend the spine, let it dangle toward the earth. Deep breaths in and away. Okay, come to a plank. Find your stable place. You can always skip planks. You can always skip dog poses. You can skip anything. This is your practice. You get to decide where you want to be in space, how you want to practice, where your boundaries are, where your strength lives, where your stability lives, where your injuries live. Deep inhale, full core exhale. Okay, let's put our knees down if you need to. Come all the way to the floor, however is safe for your body to do. Put your arms down, out, or up. You decide what's best for your body. Take a deep breath in. We're lifting everything up. Feel your glutes. Feel your hamstrings. The back of the neck is long. Find your diaphragm breathing you. And then exhale and release your head down. Put your head on your forearm or on your hands and just rock your feet left and right. Deep inhales, deep exhales. And then go ahead and come on to your back. Okay. So we're going to do bridge pose actively, then passively, so have a block nearby. Okay. So use this posture. A lot of what we did was one-legged and balancing, so we want to stabilize our sacrum now and make sure that our SI joints aren't wonky. So find your breath. Feel free to invite the gluteus medius and minimus into action first by hugging your feet apart and then lift your pelvis up. Finding your breath, get onto the tops of your shoulders a little bit more. Spread open the chest. Feel the courageous heart. Open broadly. Let the belly rise and fall. Have the work happen in your legs. There's so many strong muscles in your pelvis and legs. Try to access all of them. Feel the sacrum kind of puzzle piece setting. Let it set up. And then go ahead and melt back down. Windshield wipe, don't pull your knees to your chest. Just windshield wiper your knees left and right. And now we're going to grab a block, or if you don't have a block, you can get a blanket. And we're going to put a block underneath our pelvis at whatever height you want to be. Don't feel like bigger is better, and sometimes low is the best. So you decide what height you want underneath you. And let this be nourishing. Still stay open in the chest. Put your arms wherever you want them to be that makes your heart feel expansive, that your breath is expansive. Let the pelvis rest. Feel that rest as you bottom out the exhale. See what it feels like to let the exhale all the way out. Allow the breath to go into the belly, into the pelvis. Feel the grounding under your head and shoulders and feet. All right, we're going to move that block out of there. We have one more back bendy pose to do before we kind of nourish our hips a little bit. So if you happen to have two blocks,
Let's move into heart bench. Here's my second block. You can have the block either this way, flat behind your back, okay? And then the other one underneath the base of the skull, one step higher. If you happen to have one block, then put the block under your back and stack up pillows or something under your head to be a little higher. If you have no blocks, just have a blanket underneath your spine to open your chest. Okay, so you get to do, I'm pretty short, so sometimes I prefer this block to be this way behind my thoracic spine instead of this way. So I kind of borderline that, you know, it depends on the day. So if you're tiny height-wise, you might want this. I'm 5', I say I'm 5'3", but I'm not. So 5'2.5". So if you're shorter than me, try going that way. Okay. Find your breath. Okay, so put that block in between your shoulder blades, the other one under your head. Whatever you're choosing, whatever pathway you're getting to this pose with props, once you're there, rest in your openness. See what it feels like to let the shoulders and arms take the back seat. The chest, the heart takes the front seat. If we're stepping out of comfort zones and moving into courage, we need to have our heart lead the way. Sometimes it's acts of will, you know, sometimes we have to just push ourselves forward and force ourselves into action. So the will is definitely involved. But if we marry the will to an open heart, courageous acts get even more powerful. Relax your head, melt. Remember the ground below you. Remember your breath. Your steadying forces when you feel unsteady. The earth below you. The quality of your breathing. These last couple of breaths in this posture, feel the chest expand, the neck and head are soft, the limbs are resting. Big full breath in, big full breath out. All right, let's go ahead and find our way out. So bend your knees, roll over, be careful. You're on a little prop, roll over onto your side and come onto your back. Okay, so just come to lie down. If you have a strap, grab it, have it close by. Okay. Find your breathing. Bring both knees gently, don't pull them tight in, just gently have your arms straight and just find your way back and forth here. And then put your feet on the ground and windshield wiper your knees left and right. Okay, let's grab the strap, put it around your right foot, lift that leg in the air. Your left foot can be on the floor or your left leg can be on the floor. Extending the spine, finding your breathing. Move your femur bone away from your shoulder. Feel the extension up into your foot, root down into your hip. And then as you're ready, cross the leg over
So a little bigger pose than what we began when our knee was bent. Take your right hand into the head of your femur bone, press it away, cross the right leg to the left, extend the spine. And then bring that leg back up, finding your breathing. 2 feet in the strap. Enjoy the extension of the spine. Femur bones away, spine long, stretch up through your feet. And then we're going to remove the right foot. Either put right foot on the floor or stretch your right leg long. Relax your shoulders, stretch up through your foot down into your hip. Extending the spine, feeling the space in the femur, in the hip joint where the femur bone meets the pelvis. And then as you're ready, take the strap into the right hand. We're going to put the heel of your left hand in the hip crease, press away. You don't have to do that. It's just a little extra something, something if you want it. Press the big toe into the strap, extend the spine. Enjoy your breathing, enjoy your grounding. And then bring that leg up. Take the strap off, put it off to the side. Reverse pigeon pose. If you want to do a full pigeon pose, you can flip over and come into full pigeon pose instead of reverse pigeon pose. So you decide whether you want to be on your back or whether you want to be in pigeon pose. Okay, with your leg forward and your other leg back. Okay, so you find whatever is working for your body. Enjoy this. Your hips worked hard for you today. Let's open them up. How is your grounding? How is your breathing? Go ahead and release and come out of that posture. If you're on your back, put your 2 feet on the floor. If you're transitioning to not bridge pose, pigeon pose on the other side, then you can just change sides. So you choose which way you're going. Find your breath, and let's enjoy the second side. Notice if you have some differences between your two sides. See if you can embrace the way that your body is different, left and right. Breathe there. Wherever you're sensing, can you touch into your edges? Can you expand your edges? Can you expand by using your breath? Not by forcing or pushing through pain. You know, sometimes courage is will, but sometimes courage is really knowing exactly where to stop. So let your boundary be your boundary. Breathe. Maybe your boundary will change, maybe it won't. But if you're settled, nestled into the edge, inside your breath, you can ground there. You can be there. Find your way out of your posture. Everybody meet on your back. Either just take some windshield wipering, or you can go into a full twist by moving your hips over and dropping your knees to the side. Whatever you're choosing to do, find the grounding, find the breath.
And then inhale and go the other way. Find your way into Shavasana. So decide how you want to be. Do you need support somewhere? Do you want to be on your back, or do you want to have your legs up somewhere? Whatever your practice is calling for, see what you can do to rest in Shavasana. Drop your body down. This is your opportunity to feel that earthing, that yielding. Feel the support below you. Give the tension, any uncertainty, anything you have to give, just give to the earth for it to take for you and hold for you. Rest your limbs, rest your spine. Come into the deep breath in and out. And as you move deep into Shavasana, feel the sense that the ground has your back, literally, that you're held, that you can ground, that your breath is your guide, smooth and steady, stabilizing the mind with the breath. Let's begin to deepen our breathing again. Feel the ground, feel the breath. Start to invite some movement into the body. Slow and steady. Eventually finding your way onto your side. Just take your time. Use your arms. Push yourself upright. Take your time coming into a seated posture. Once you're there, just ground. Feel the difference the practice can make. Drop into the pelvis, the floor below you, the earth below it. Take a big bottomless breath. Slow, steady exhale. And place your palms together at your heart and offer your courageous spirit. Just send this courageous vibration outward to whomever is calling to you. Namaste. Thanks, everybody. So glad